Welcome to Lost the Plot. In this video, we'll recap X-Men 97 Season 2, Episode 5, Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs. Wolverine takes his old squad back to the place that made them. What's waiting inside the facility is not the enemy any of them signed up to fight. The episode opens on a quick recap of Magneto's war. Wolverine lost his adamantium in that fight, and it turns out the metal was the only thing holding him together. On a rooftop in Paris, Captain America warns him not to go after Weapon X on his own. Logan tells him not to worry. He's already getting the old band back together. The band is Team X. Garrison Kane and Maverick are Logan's old Weapon X squad mates. Lady Deathstrike is an ex he would rather not discuss. Sabretooth is along because he and Logan have never worked out how to live without each other. Morph flies them in and spends the trip cheerfully, listing how unhealthy every one of those relationships is. Logan says his intel points to a new Weapon X lab in the Arctic running illegal experiments. He wants Dr. Cornelius buried. Something slams into the helicopter and puts it down in the snow. Lady Deathstrike drags the culprit out of the wreckage. It's a bird, though not one that belongs on this planet. More of the creatures come at them in the tree line. Sabretooth pulls one off Logan's back and takes his moment to gloat. Then he notices the claws coming out of Wolverine's hands are bone. Lady Deathstrike insists the adamantium process cannot be reversed. Logan tells them it's nobody's business but his. They reach the facility and find it torn open. There are bodies everywhere and doors clawed through from both sides. Maverick's scanner picks up a single fading life sign above the hydrogen core. Dr. Cornelius steps out of the dark and welcomes his stray dogs home. Lady Deathstrike goes for him because he stole and perverted her father's work. Morph talks her down on the grounds that the man is unarmed and probably knows the way out. Cornelius calls Professor Oyama's science primitive, much like mutants are to the Queen. Then he starts laughing in a voice that isn't his. He comes apart and stands back up as a brood, and the corridors fill with more of them. The team barricades themselves behind adamantium-laced walls. Logan has smelled almost everything on Earth, and he tells Morph, these things aren't from here. Their exit is a vehicle bay, but the bay doors won't open until someone restarts the generators in the server room. The only way out is further in. That's when the accusations start. Sabretooth points out nobody saw Logan straight after the crash, so Logan could be infected, and leading them into a trap. Morph turns it around and asks how Creed knew that, unless he was watching. Everyone is a suspect, so they agree nobody moves alone. Lady Deathstrike takes Morph with her and calls him Tomo. She explains that Tomo is a shape-shifting fox from Japanese legend, a loyal companion to a heroic samurai. There was nothing Tomo wouldn't do and nobody he wouldn't become to help. She adds that it did not end well for Tomo. In the server room, they find Cornelius's archive on a stack of DVDs. The recordings lay out the whole ugly design. Broken people volunteered for Weapon X, and their broken past made them defective, because they kept remembering no matter how many times their memories were wiped. Cornelius's answer was the Brood. He describes them as a hive species with one shared instinct, survival, and no capacity for a thought of their own. His serum, brewed from brood cranial fluid, was meant to strip a subject of identity and leave nothing but obedience. He also notes the catch. A fully transitioned subject could never be tamed, and it could not survive the adamantium process. The brood hit them mid-recording. Morph gets away and works out the pattern. The creatures are leaving most of the bodies behind because they only breed with the best specimen they can find. That makes the best there is at what he does the most valuable host in the building. Over the radio, the team hears Maverick call in that they're overrun, and they hear Kane die. Regrouping deeper in the complex, they stumble into a lab holding Omega Red in stasis. Maverick reaches them a moment later, panicked and repeating that it's game over. He gets as far as saying the brood kept pouring out of the vents. Something huge comes through the wall behind him. Wolverine has been turned, and he kills Maverick in front of them. Sabretooth is delighted to have been right. Morph refuses to run, and Creed makes him look at where they found Logan. The chamber they're standing in is the adamantium chamber, which sits in the opposite direction from the vehicle bay. This raid was never really about Weapon X. Logan came back here to get his claws returned. Morph accepts that Logan lied and argues it changes nothing. Brood carrying Wolverine's healing factor would be unkillable, and taking over Earth would only be their first week. The DVD said the Brood can't survive an adamantium bonding, but Wolverine can. The plan is to give Logan exactly what he came for. Morph turns into Cyclops and starts baiting the beast about Jean, which works far too well. Sabretooth abandons the plan the moment Logan is in reach because he would rather finish this fight than win it. The brawl cracks Omega Red's stasis pod open. Morph, badly hurt, tries one last time to reach his friend and reminds him that the X-Men came for Morph when Sinister had him. Then he becomes Jean, and Logan follows her into the chamber. The bonding starts while the others hold him down and the facility comes apart around them. Omega Red tears free, announces that a living weapon like him can't be stopped, and goes after Morph. Wolverine steps out of the chamber with metal claws and one line: "I'm back, baby." He puts Omega Red down and the team escapes as the compound detonates behind them. The last scene is quiet. Morph asks Logan to say it out loud, and Logan tells him that if he has to say it, Morph doesn't need him to. He adds that some people have to be one thing. Morph asks if that one thing is an animal with claws. Logan says it's what he's best at being. Morph asks whether that makes him sad and gets nothing back. It makes Morph sad, and he says so. This is a horror episode wearing a Weapon X jacket, and the haunted facility staging suits it. The real story is the lie underneath the mission, and how easily Logan traded his friend's trust for getting his medal back. He gets the claws, allegedly, the thing he needed most, and the closing silence makes it very clear what they cost him. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.